Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Nikken Business Opportunity webcast. Joining me tonight from the Seattle area is Royal Diamond Pat Terry. Good evening, Pat. How are you?
Hi, Dennis. Great. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Just by way of introduction, Pat and her husband Mac have been two-time Consultants of the Year. They're Royal Diamonds with a worldwide global business. Pat has an amazing story regarding how first she came to discover Nikken and then the power of the products. But I think even more, and that was certainly life-changing and life-altering, but then the financial rewards that came along with that and what that has allowed you and your husband to do. So folks, tonight we're going to talk about discover the freedom you desire and create a more meaningful life. And as we look at this and as we move forward and understand it, there's some elements of looking at an opportunity. We introduced this as the Nikken Business Opportunity webcast. And if you were to decide, if you're new on this call tonight and you were to decide, gosh, I think I'd like to start my own business, a consultant might take you through and ask you some questions. What industry are you going to be participating in? What is the timing for that industry? Is it in demand or is it in decline? What kind of company would you be aligning with? What kind of products are you bringing to the marketplace? Is there a need for them? Is there any kind of a business plan or marketing plan associated with what you're doing? What kind of system is there? But the biggest piece of the puzzle is you, what you might be looking for and what you might be willing to do in order to create a new business for yourself. And so, Pat, as you look at this little pie chart here, evaluating a business, what did that mean to you the first time you saw it?
Well, it's interesting. I think a lot of people don't know my story, but my background is I'm a registered nurse, but I was looking for 15 years for a business. So this is very pertinent to what when I saw Nikken, and I'll go into that later. But that's why I ended up not launching a business for 15 years, because there seemed to be a transition going on. Industries are changing, and I wasn't sure what was going to be around, and certain things I was interested in looked like they'd be obsolete in the next few years, and so I wasn't willing to take that risk. And when I was looking for a company to align with, again, with the changing industry, I needed to find something that was strong, and I was having trouble doing that. And then products, that obviously it has to fuel your heart, it has to impact, it has to feel, and that, I guess that's the part of you as well. And so I was looking not only for products that were current, but were futuristic, that were going to be around and be cutting edge. And then business plans. Since I have no business background in running a business, I've got a financial background. Done real estate and run parts of a hospital. But I needed something that made sense, it would work, and it wouldn't bog me down. So evaluating that. Now, support system, it's interesting because I've watched so many businesses go under because there isn't that support system. Even things like franchising and all, where people think the support's there. So, and like I said, for the part, it had to fit with me too. It had to be integral and impact. So I think that's very important when people look at this. They need to find out the pieces of a business in general. And thank goodness I bumped into Nikken, because for 15 years I couldn't find the one that filled all these pieces for me.
Awesome. Well, folks, those of you that are listening or watching us tonight, we're going to go through each one of these pieces of the puzzle, each one of these pieces of the puzzle, and we will talk just a little bit about the timing, the relevancy, why Nikken, why now. But the biggest piece of this puzzle really is you. And a lot of people, they go all the way through their life and they reach their adult years, and they really have never been taught how to make a decision. And we're going to challenge you tonight to make a decision. If this is your first exposure at the Business Opportunity, we're going to challenge you to make the decision to get 100% informed, to really make sure that you have a full understanding of who we are and what we're doing. Now, if someone's been talking to you for a little while and maybe this is a second or third exposure for you, then we're going to ask you for a decision. We're going to ask you to join us. We're not bashful. We're in expansion mode, and we're looking for good people, and we're just going to challenge you. Make a decision, decide what's right for you, and then move forward with that decision. Now, Pat, as we look at this next slide, why wellness, why Nikken, why now? Let's go back a few years when you were first introduced to Nikken. Let's hear your story and how this slide might have been relevant for you then and how it applies today.
Well, it was very relevant then. As I said, my background, I've been in nursing for almost 30 years, and I did a high stress career. I ran an emergency department, a cancer unit. I set up healthcare systems around the world. I met my husband in the Middle East of all places. He was in the RUS military, but I had a very stressful job. And I got into medicine because I believed in wellness. And as a person, I believed in it. So I did everything I knew for myself, other than being a high stress job, to stay well. And so I watched our trending from the time I started medicine to where I was progressing in it get worse. Everything was getting worse. Cancer statistics, heart statistics, obesity, autism, all of these things we were not impacting in any significant way in the health arena. But for my own self, I couldn't control some of the things that I didn't know how to control. Like I was always sleep deficient. I never slept, and I had the stress impact. And I was unfortunate to, at the age of 12, develop severe headaches, crippling headaches. As I progressed in my stressful career and the sleep pattern wore on, I eventually developed an autoimmune. And by the time I was 39 years old, which was, if you want to do the numbers, was 16 years ago, my health collapsed fully. And I lost my memory. The amount of agony I was in every day on a 1 to 10 scale was a 12. The medical community, which my dad was entrenched in, my whole family was entrenched in, and I grew up in, could do nothing for me. And all of the side effects of the treatments were making me crash even further. And I was given less than a year to live, even though I was doing everything I knew in the wellness arena to do right. And I was also working in the health arena. And so I know how important wellness is, because I think a lot of us have a lifestyle that is a bit deficient in what we need, and it's also highly stressful, and you don't know when that collapse is going to come. And at 39 it came. And so that's where I was. And so I'm very, very excited about wellness when my husband bumped into this company. And thank goodness he's a good listener, because during my 2-year progression as the headaches, my headache lasted for over a year before we discovered this company. Try living that way for that long. And so what my husband saw was a company that literally had synergistic vital energies. When you put them together, create a stair-step effect to prevention or recovery or improvement. And so he got the products and put them in the home. And the part that intrigued me was I didn't have to do anything. My husband did it, made a decision, brought in the balance of the energies this company does, which created that wellness, I'll say, cocoon. And within 3 weeks, I started to get my memory back. Within 2 months, the headache broke. And within the next few months, the autoimmune that they said I wouldn't survive. Now, I mean, look at me. It's 16 years later. I'm vibrant. I don't have these issues anymore. Very, very exciting. But why now? The statistics are worse. The reason I know my health collapsed was because of the other part of wellness, the part about having quality of life and balance and family time. And that's why Mac and I were looking for a business for 15 years, because my career was all consuming and not conducive to good health. And so we needed a financial wellness plan. And what I see today is I see so many more people crunched on they're living very, very tight, very, very lack of freedom, and they're sacrificing a lot of their actual physical wellness, and it's leading to a financial disconnect. And so I actually see a bigger reason now to get involved in this company than I saw even back 15 years ago, because more people are aware that they don't want to end up with the health collapse that I ended up with. Don't go my path to find out this company and find out the product will work. Go Dennis's path, which is get on them competitively and preventatively, and the timing. Look at where our health statistics are going. Look at where, I don't even try to turn on the TV, but if you did, all you're going to see is financial issues, quality of life issues, and wellness or lack of wellness issues. And here's a company, the only company I've seen on the entire planet that literally has an answer for all of these. And the part that I saw the most in regards to the product side was not how the products worked, but how the company put them together for a synergistic approach and put them in such a way that you just made a decision by using day, night, and the different energies together. And all of a sudden, your compliance with it was about 90%. In other words, you would start to get results over time. And again, in my field of medicine, I can tell you the reason our healthcare system is very, very, very close to collapse right now is because people don't know what to do to stay well. And then when they try to make a change, they don't have a formula that's easy. Well, Nikken's got the formula. It's easy. It's effective. And so anyway, it's a great timing. Back to
Awesome.
you, Dennis.
Absolutely. And so our mission is to inspire individuals to discover a whole new way of life and provide them the opportunity to live it. And Pat has just shared the before and after with regards to that. And the key here is really balance in the 5 pillars of health: healthy body, mind, family, society, and finances. And now, Pat, when you were struggling and you and Mac were looking for something, you were looking for a business, a financial vehicle on one side, but you were really struggling with your health on the other. What does this 5 pillars of health mean to you, and what sort of impact did that make philosophically?
The first time I saw it, I just burst into tears. I scared the woman that showed it to me because, again, I had been seeking what I call perfection. I love my husband. He's my soulmate. And he was he was a colonel in the Air Force, and he was looking to transition out. And I knew he would get into the real world, and these 5 pillars, this balance of your family life and society and finances, and would just fall even farther apart. And we already didn't have it with how much I worked and then my health problems. And there was no family time. I always say my husband and I a lot of times had a telephone marriage. And so when the woman that introduced me to this company said, look, we have an amazing 5 pillars of health, take a look at this and see where you might be out of balance in 1 or 2 areas. And I looked at it and I started crying because I was out of balance in all 5. And I said, you mean you really have a company that if I start moving toward results with this company that I could get those restored? And absolutely, within 3 years, I mean, it was faster than that in a lot of the components, but within 3 years, I had all 5 of those balanced for the first time in my life. Pretty fabulous.
Wow. Amazing. Well, if you're gonna, if you're gonna hitch your wagon to a star, I guess you want to, or your reins to the star, you want to make sure that you're working with a company with a track record of success. Nikken was founded in 1975, over $22 billion in total sales. It's interesting. I was just at a networking event a week or so ago, and they talked about there's only 13 companies in the network marketing industry this in sales in 1 year. Nikken is one of those 13 companies where we are a legacy company. Nearly 40 countries around the world, a 5A1 Dun & Bradstreet rating, millions of satisfied customers worldwide. And yet here we are right on the sort of the ground floor. We have less than 1% market penetration with all this experience and all this time moving forward. So those of you that are listening to us tonight, you might be saying, well, why would I want to do a company that's been around for all those years as opposed to a brand new company? And I know, Pat, you've got a good answer for that. So how would you answer these folks?
Well, first of all, I want to be with the only company that knows what they're doing in the full sense. You couldn't pay me to go to any other company, no matter how much money, because I truly believe in health. I truly believe in empowerment financially. And you're not going to get health by one thing. And you're not going to get health in our healthcare system by having a drug that covers it. So from that aspect right there, I would stay with this company forever. But I also want to be with a company that's actually impacted into 40 countries, because I'm a global individual. I love to live around the world. I love to travel around the world. And I want to be able to impact. So I don't want a ground floor company that's going to fall apart. I don't want a company that doesn't know how to expand into other countries. And besides, take a look at, not to, go off on another company, but look at Apple. My brother-in-law happened to be one of the ground people in Apple when it started, and he was kind of sad because he left because he didn't see the vision. Don't
Oops.
get involved in a big company. Don't leave. But the reality is they went through multiple spurts and took it to higher levels and higher levels. And when you get a strong, solid company with a 5A1 done in Bradstreet, the money they have to put into research, attract the best of the best, and continue to carve out the future. Other people are chasing us and they won't even catch a sliver of us. So that's how excited I am. And that's what I looked at when we bumped into this company. We weren't told about the business. We were only told about the products. And this is why there was a bit of a lag time from us getting on the products and starting to see a result, because nobody showed me this. But the moment I started to go, oh my gosh, this is what every person that comes into the hospital should have known before they got here. And I bumped in and found out there was a business. And then I looked straight at the 5A1 and done in Bradstreet. I said, right there, hands down, tells me this company knows what they're doing. And so I wanted to be a part of that, because I knew that if you got 8 out of 10 people with chronic agony issues, you've got 2 out of 3 with sleep disorder, you've got $1 billion bottled water industry that isn't even good. You've got contaminated air, you've got all these statistics changing, and you have a company that's got billions in sales and a 5A1 done in Bradstreet, so they know what they're doing. That's who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. And one other thing we'll add to that is a group of field force leaders who have the experience, have made the money, and can provide that help and support like we talked about on the earlier screen. So there's the experience of people who's been there, done that, walk the walk as well as talk the talk.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome.
Because when I saw that business, Dennis, I said I'd never done business before, but all I had to do is know there were people in front of me that had done it and follow what they did. And Mac and I were financially independent after 3 years.
Absolutely. So. And so you just plug right in and away you go. So let's just take a quick moment here. You mentioned day-night environment and lifestyle products. Would you just, without going into the specific parts of that, talk about the relevancy of day-night environment and how that really fits in today's society, with the understanding, sort of like the Apple, if you went there, the Macintosh and the iPad, and sort of that standpoint. Explain that to the folks.
Well, again, people's lifestyle is very busy today, and they want to have health and prevention, but they don't have time for it. And they don't have time to piecemeal it and know what it is. And so the brilliance of this company, both on the product consumer side, but even more on the business and financial side, is, I call it the Apple model, is the fact that they've actually created Day Pack, which creates day energy, so your body it doesn't become deficient during the day. It has what it needs to have a good day. And then at night, it's got a night pack that helps the body rejuvenate, so it starts the next day better. And it takes care of the environmental impact that you have. And then people have lifestyle issues. Everybody has a little bit different things that happen. So you then go through that lifestyle door and get the things that are specific for yourself. So from a business model, it's brilliant, because a busy person like me, I don't want to go to a store and buy a TV and then go buy a stereo system and then go buy another piece and have none of them work together. Instead, I want to come and I want to get this and then add this and then add this and have each one build and plug and play. Right. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're on this webcast tonight and maybe you're new, this is the first experience you're having with Nikken, we're going to encourage you to get with the person who invited you here, get a demonstration in each of these categories, see what these products are, what they're all about, see how they're going to impact you, get a chance to experience them for yourselves. Because we can talk about them, I can share my story, Pat can share your story, but when you have a little experience for yourself, it makes a whole lot of difference. And understand there's a tremendous amount of impact in these product technologies across a wide spectrum of challenges that might be out there, but most importantly, the prevention. I've heard it often said about Nikken, may you never know the things that this has prevented for you.
And I can honestly say, Dennis, I've helped more people stay well and turn their health around by just connecting, not educating them, not doing a dissertation, just connecting them to the packs and having them do it, than I've done in all my years in nursing.
Yeah, that's a pretty profound statement. Well, we're going to move forward now and look at network marketing. And sometimes people out there have sort of a knee-jerk reaction when they hear network marketing, or is this network marketing? And what I often say to folks is, if you have a challenge with network marketing, it's time to get over it. This is an industry whose time has come. It's an industry that is reaching maturity now. And today, more than any other time, and Pat's already talked about this a couple of times already, but for the first time in history, we have busy business professionals that are looking for network marketing opportunities, actually shopping for it. So it's really about education. Most people really don't understand what network marketing is all about. So if you're on this call tonight and maybe the word network marketing causes a little queasiness in your stomach, or for some of you, maybe it is, I don't even really know what network marketing is, we're going to encourage you to get with the person who invited you on and get your questions answered. Really find out a little bit about this industry and what it's all about, and how it can provide for you that balance in the 5 pillars we're talking about. You know, this in green, it says the richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else looks for work. Network marketing is a brilliant way for someone to build a network at low cost. And that's really what this is all about. When you look at trying to get into a business today, I know my wife and I, just prior to starting Nikken, invested $1.1 million in a restaurant. We had about $350,000 of our own. We went to the banks and we borrowed $750,000. We bought the land, we built the building and opened the doors, and never really saw anything out of that. The economy went south, and 3 years later we shut the doors and almost wiped our other business out. Then you look at Nikken, and back when we started, it was $49 to get started. It's $60 today. A few products, go out, start talking to people, establish this network, and we've made a tremendous amount of money out of the Nikken business model. So get an opportunity to get fully educated on network marketing. Now, Pat, when you were introduced, what did the word network marketing mean for you? Did you have any preconceived ideas?
I don't know why nobody ever brought it up to me before. I would have thought this was a brilliant model. I had never heard the term, but it was interesting because the moment I looked at it, I got it. I said, okay, so we inform people, we connect them, and it goes direct to them. To me, that was the most brilliant model. And I've got to say, because of that, the rest of the world has finally caught up. I mean, look at Amazon. You inform, you connect, and it goes direct. And so when people tell me you're in network marketing, I go, absolutely. Why would I want to be in something that is an industrial age business with brick and mortar walls, high overhead, and I'm stuck in a region? I said, I can operate in 40 countries in an information age business. All I do is inform, connect, and direct. But the best part is what you're about to ready to show is, when I saw this, it took me 30 years to get to a certain level of income. And I was a highly paid director of nursing, and my husband made it to colonel in the Air Force. We were able to outproduce both of our incomes in under a year. And yet we had more free time, and because we built and helped other people leverage a network. So when people say, is this network marketing? I say, absolutely. Why would I want to be involved in any other model, and particularly with the strength of this company?
Yeah, absolutely. And so really what we're all about with network marketing is teaching you how to leverage time. You know, we can always go make more money. We can never make more time. But with the power of network marketing, you learn how to leverage the time with the person who invited you on, and have them sit down and explain to you exactly how this business model and this concept of leverage and how it can impact you. Now, Pat, we're going to throw this up on the screen, the ABC system, our marketing system. How important was that to you, and how do you utilize it today?
Well, it's interesting. I'm actually in the business today because of that model. Because remember, the person that the A is the presenter that knows what's going on. Well, my seamstress and tennis partner knew I had headaches, and she knew I was really ill, and so she didn't know how to explain it to me. And she had no intention to tell me there was a business because she thought we were, very financially well, which due to a very major collapse, we weren't. So she leveraged an A, and she leveraged actually 2 different A's. The first A, I called somebody that gave us an overview, and it was actually a business owner who was very, very respected in our local area that wanted to show us why we needed to take a look at this. And I respected him, and he could show me where my tennis partner couldn't. She just made me aware, and then he showed us. Then, because I was medical, they thought I needed a career match. So they actually had me talk to a neurosurgeon that was doing this as additional profit stream. most of you people think of a neurosurgeon as, I've got enough money, I don't need this. But he wanted to impact people in a healthier way, and he couldn't do it as a neurosurgeon. So he was the one that says, you need to look at the business side. You can affect a whole lot of people around the globe, and you can't do that with your physical presence in the healthcare arena. So it was those two A's that were leveraged by my girlfriend, who is a B, that got me a full picture, and then I came in. So after that, I knew that I had my hands on something beautiful, but I didn't know exactly how to share it all the time. And so I just leveraged A's that could share what maybe they'd fill in the pieces I couldn't. So it's a brilliant way. And it's no different than what I do in nursing. In nursing, I would bring a person on, I preceptor them, and then they go off and eventually, hopefully, they preceptor the next person, and you develop strength, you learn on the job.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beautiful part of this. You earn while you learn, and you get to leverage on the ability of multiple other A's for you to learn as you move along the way. It's a brilliant system and factors right into this support system. Now we're right down to the last few minutes of our call here. So let's just take a minute and talk about humans being more and the support network that's in place.
Well, humans being more is amazing, because I think we've gotten to a point in our lives that many times we've lost our ability to dream, or we've had all these goals we want and we've stuck in the reality of life. And so the company's got a brilliant support system called Humans Being More Training, that's not about how to do the business, but it's about how to get back to your core, what it is you would want out of life, what your family wants. And so when Mac and I went to that, it just launched us wide open in an unlimited possibilities. They also have the conventions that you can plug in, and we go to there and find all kinds of A's that have made the kind of income and lifestyles that we want. And they're free access to pick their brains. And believe me, I did. So we have the obviously the international business support, the technology support, and definitely we have teams. This is a team right now that's come together to help all of you out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, as we wrap this call up tonight, the question we'll ask you that are on listening to us, what are you looking for? Is it more free time, financial security, better health? Perhaps it's a way to make a difference. I know for my wife and I, we were looking for time, period, free or otherwise. We owned and operated two businesses. They were 167 miles apart. I had one of the largest martial arts schools in Northern California. I was working 7 days a week. I'd leave at 6:30 in the morning, get home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Our income was okay, but those other pillars we were talking about, totally out of balance. My health was taking a hit, my marriage was taking a hit, my family was taking a hit. We were totally out of balance, and we were looking for something that would maintain the lifestyle that we had, but provide the time for us to be able to do the things that we wanted to do together as a family, as individuals, and together in our marriage. And Nikken has provided that for us. So now, Pat, as we wrap up with this slide, we're going to be talking tonight to some folks that are brand new. Maybe this is the first time they've looked at this. What would you recommend that they do at this point?
Well, if this is your first look, I congratulate you. And what I say is, in 2 weeks or under, get a whole lot of different pieces of the components in a rapid succession, so you really understand what it is you've bumped into. Get a demonstration of the products if you're in the area that the person is there with you, or take a look at the strength of the company, experience the products, but really look at what this could do for your free time and for your financial security. Really think about what it is you'd like for your life, because when Mac and I looked at this and I saw I could have more free time, that's what we were looking for. And I thought, how do I add that chunk to an already busy lifestyle, and I wasn't well? Well, when I saw and talked to the people and saw the outcome, I couldn't not do it. It would buy me back everything I needed. And financial security, if you're looking at this for the first time and you're not where you want to be financially, you couldn't be much worse than we were, because my health collapse caused us to be unemployed, both of us at the moment. We were $150,000 in debt and didn't have a dime to our name. And we were able to, within 3 months, get a cash flow that kept us going and bail out a 30-year mess in 3 years. What I would say is go through the information process, and then at the end of 2 weeks, make a decision. Find out what it is you haven't had your questions answered and get them answered, because we'd love you to join us. We have a huge mission to turn around people's lifestyles, get them free, whatever that freedom word is for you, get you a higher quality of life, get you a higher income flow, and definitely get you on the preventive side of health.
Absolutely. So we'd love to have you join us on the Nikken Highway. I'll give you the last word, Pat.
Well, I'd say if this is your second or third look, I'd pull out an application today and sign on the dotted line, and I'd look at getting your packs right away, because until you start to experience this, you're not going to know what you have your hands on fully. And then don't wait to have an experience. Like, I didn't wait until I had an experience. I went out and talked to over 20 people, and they all started to take activity. And within a month, I just saw this amazing thing happening with their health and their finances. So don't wait to analyze. Make a decision and just launch into motion, because if we're going to affect change, we've got to do it rapidly, and we want you aboard helping us do that.
Absolutely. So thank you, Pat, so much for coming and sharing your time tonight. We always we're excited to hear your story, and you do such a fine job in sharing information with people about this really valuable process that we have, both from products and from the business standpoint. And thank you for taking the time and being a part of it.
Well, thank you, Dennis, and good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye, everyone.